Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Glad you're here. Hope you're doing well. On today's video, I'm going to be giving you a summary of week number 2, all the different workouts that I did as I prepare for the Boston Marathon coming up in April. But I wanted to start and just follow up a little bit from yesterday's video. Oh my gosh, yesterday was just, the whole day was just nothing but a comedy of errors, it seemed like. So I'll share some of those behind the scenes type of things with you. So in the video yesterday, I mentioned that I had recorded the entire thing and then realized later that each of the different segments I recorded had no audio at all. And part of one of my goals for this year was to produce better videos for you guys. And a big part of that starts with audio. So I've been miking up a lot more, or trying to mic up really every time that I have the opportunity to do so, so that the audio does come through crystal clear. And I had mic'd up in my car, which is where I had filmed a couple of different segments, one at home and then one out at the park. But I forgot to turn on the receiver. So when I went to edit and put all this footage together for you guys, there was no audio at all. So that was one of my errors yesterday. But then when I got home and I was really thirsty, I went to reach for my tumbler of water, which is one of these big, like 32-ounce tumblers, knocked it off the counter, fell on the floor, water went everywhere. And of course I was getting ready to have some lunch, and I went to grab my plate, which had a black bean burger that I had heated up on it. I grabbed my plate like this, and slid right off, smacked right onto the floor. So that's kind of how my day went yesterday. So I'm hoping that today's long run goes a little bit better. I'm sure that it will. And along those lines, I was really debating, but I think I'm going to run out at the park. It's a long run, so it should be a lot of fun. It's going to be about an hour. I'm not sure yet. I haven't really looked up, but I think about an hour and 40, maybe hour and 50 minutes, something like that. So I don't know if I have enough time to run the complete circuit of the trails that are out there, because that typically takes a few hours for me, a couple hours usually, going at an easy pace. All right, I'm going to go get this done, and then we'll come back and we'll talk more as I summarize week number 2 for the Boston Marathon training. Okay, so let's break down week number 2. For that, I'm going to look away from my screen. So again, I apologize for that, but all that data is at connect.garmin.com. So that's where I'm going to go, and I need to look at my computer screen in order to be able to go through the summary with you. I'm at my dashboard already. So again, it's connect.garmin.com. And what I'm going to do is just simply scroll all the way over to the left-hand side. And I'm going to go down first. I think I'm going to go down to where it says training and planning, and click on training plan so that we can see the summary for the week. Now here you can see that, just kind of at a glance, all the different things that I was going to be working on, or that I worked on this past week. And one of the things I just want to continue to remind you of is that my week doesn't run like Sunday through Saturday or Saturday through whatever. Instead, it starts on a Tuesday. So it goes January 3rd, week number 2, January 3rd to January 9th. All right, so now to look at the summary for the week, I'm going to go back over to the left-hand side, scroll down to where it says all activities. And I'm going to start here first, because one of the things that I didn't do very well the last time that I talked about this series was give you the full picture. And here you can see all of the different activities, not just running, which is what I focused on the last time around. But here you can see all the different activities, including all the yoga sessions that I do. And for me, just a reminder, yoga isn't necessarily traditional yoga. I'm going to put yoga in quotes, because I'm doing all the mobility stuff. And when it comes to strength training, I'm doing the things that Netic Health had put together for me. So the mobility and the strength is a lot of what Netic Health had worked out for me to do. But I did 7 different yoga sessions. I did 1 strength training so far. I do intend to do another session later on today. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll have time to get to it. But so far, I've completed 1 strength training, and then I did 1 cross-training session, which was indoor cycling, and then I ran 5 different times. So let's take a look at the run activities now. To do that, I'm going to just click on the runner up there at the top. And again, we're focused from January 3rd through to the 9th. And it starts out, January 3rd was a rest day for me, because it was a Tuesday, and which means that tomorrow will be a rest day for me. But I began with a recovery run. Now, if you guys have been following along kind of the daily posts or vlogs that I've been putting out, that recovery run for me was probably the most difficult for me to obtain and be successful at out of all of the workouts, because it required that my heart rate stay down, and I just couldn't do it. I failed miserably at trying to do that. In fact, I think my heart rate, even though I was out on a long run and doing some what I thought was pretty difficult workout out on the trails, I think my heart rate was actually better than it was when I was trying to do it, when I was purposely trying to keep my heart rate down on that long run. It just seemed like no matter how hard I tried to keep my heart rate down, it wasn't happening. So I'm going to click on the recovery run so we can take a closer look at that together. And here you can see that I did the recovery run around town. So it was all paved roads. Really no elevation concerns, and that's part of the reason why I chose to run around town, is because I didn't want to make it any harder than it needed to be. I wanted it to be a true recovery run, but that was kind of to no avail. And you can see right here that my heart rate was never really in zone 2, which is what Garmin was asking me to do. It was in zone 3, 4, sometimes 5. So again, that was tough for me to try to do that. I'm not good at that yet. I will find my heart rate monitor. I do have a couple Garmin heart rate monitors, the chest straps, because I want to put that on and try it out later on down the road, because we had such great conversation in that video where we talked about training by heart rate. And for this run, I was just using the sensors built into my watch. But I can get a more accurate sense using the chest strap. So I'm going to dig around and find that. I tried to find it today, but I'm not that well organized, unfortunately. So I need to find that. Okay, so then we'll scroll down a little bit further to get to all of the good stats. I went 6.57 miles in total. My run dynamics, my steps per minute was 178 with a max 189. Not unexpected. I was trying purposely to run slow to keep my heart rate down. But my heart rate, the average was 155 beats per minute with the max 171 beats per minute. So, and then if I'm going to look at the zones here. So zone 4, zone 5, the percent in that zone, 85% of the time, I was trying to be in zone 2. All right, so that's kind of enough about that. Oh, my average pace was pretty slow, as you can see down here, 8:29 minute mile pace, and that's kind of surprising me a little bit, to be honest. I thought it was actually a lot slower than that. But so that is the recovery run that I completed there. And I'm going to back up here. And now let's take a look at the intervals. And let's see. Now so this doesn't really show it, but I ran the intervals out at the park. I was on the paved roads, and that's because I knew that, I didn't want to have to worry about traffic. And I knew there wouldn't be any traffic out there. And so, my heart rate, not terrible really for doing interval work, as you can see. And we'll take a closer look as I scroll down where we can see the hard numbers here. 5.87 miles in total. The benefit was VO2 max, which is what it should be. Steps per minute, 183, max 197. All right, 197, I'd like to see that. A quick cadence, that's what I'm really going for. My average heart rate was 160 beats per minute with a max 180 beats per minute. So overall, pretty decent, a little over 45 minutes. 752 average. My best pace, again, running intervals, was 6:25 minute mile. I'm not unhappy with that. 6:25 is pretty good for me. That's like my 5K pace. So I'll take it. And that's my 5K pace when I'm in shape. Right now, I am not in shape, but I'm coming back. Working at it a little at a time. All right, so let's go back. I'm going to try to move through these a little bit quicker. Another recovery run here. This time again around town. This is the one that was in my mind, running by heart rate. 9:45 minute mile pace. I was barely kind of jogging, fast walking almost along those lines, and I struggled with that. 4.83 miles. Not surprising considering that pace. And my heart rate and so on was just not great, because it was based on heart rate. Let's take a look at that first. 151 beats per minute, max 168 beats per minute. Not great. And my run dynamics, 175 steps per minute, 186 steps per minute max. And again, that 9:45 minute mile pace. So I got some work to do in terms of trying to train by heart rate. So far we've got a couple of recovery runs, one interval run, and then I went out on a trail run. And I was running some intervals out here as well. You know, it doesn't pull it up that way because I had a little bit of trouble, you know, getting my workout on my watch to load, unfortunately. But I did run intervals out here. 5.79 miles is what I went, 840 minute mile pace in total. And mostly I ran the island out there trying to work on my local legend status. Heart rate, you know, that's pretty decent, you know, for the type of speed work that I was doing. But I want to scroll down here to, again, look at the hard numbers. I think it's a little easier looking down here. Again, 5.79 miles. VO2 max, awesome. Love to see working on that. 180 steps per minute, 195 max cadence. My best pace, 6:37 minute mile down here. Again, I was running out on the trails. For me to run a 6:37 minute mile pace on doing some trail work, I'll take it. I'll definitely take that. I'm happy with that. I don't know if I talked about my heart rate here, but I'll mention it again. 157 steps or beats per minute and max 172 beats per minute. Total just about 50 minutes out there on that workout. And then let's click back and see for today's long run. And here I went 10.76 miles. Again, run the same loop that I did yesterday when I was doing the interval work. 9:25 minute mile pace. That's not bad. I was actually shooting for 9:30 because I wanted to run more of an easy pace given that it was going to be a long run. I was in the Speedgoat 5s again. Very comfortable shoe. Love those shoes. I'm going to be talking about those here very soon. Probably this week I'll do a 100-mile review because I know I have to have rolled over 100 miles on them by now. All right, so I'm going to scroll down here to get to those hard numbers for us to take a look at. Primary benefit threshold. You know, I wasn't necessarily going for that, but because it was out on the trails, it was a bit hard for me to you know, kind of do those rolling hills. So I'm not unhappy with the benefit of that. Probably could have been a bit easier if I wanted to be a little more true to the training plan. I probably shouldn't have gone out on the trails and made that run a little bit easier for me, but you know, I'm trying to do more trail running, so I'll take it. I'm not unhappy with it. Let's see, 181 steps per minute, max 193. Love to see that. I want to see my cadence to be more close to that 190 steps per minute. And this is what I was talking about. 151 beats per minute for my heart rate out there doing some pretty difficult trail work for an easy long run. With a max of 167 beats per minute. So almost as good as I did when I was trying to keep my heart rate down. Total pace, as again, in a 9:25 with an hour and 41 minutes all together. And I'll just click back. All right, so that's all of the different workouts that I completed this week. Again, 5 different runs, 2 recovery runs, basically 2 types of interval or speed work with 1 long run. All right. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it for you. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Run Tall with Tim.